How's it going? I'm Tyler and this is Tech with Tyler, and today we're going to be talking about how to back up your Mac. In this case, I'm working on a MacBook Pro, but this is going to be applicable for any other Macs such as MacBook Airs, iMacs, and Mac Minis, and so forth. And today we're going to be focusing on two separate areas. There are two ways to back up your Mac, and first way we're going to learn is Time Machine Backup. Time Machine Backup will take a snapshot of your entire machine, and you can also roll back into different snapshots in the past, whether it's just on certain folders or if you want to actually restore the entire machine and restore it to a date that you backed up previously. You can do that as well. And then the other way we're going to learn is the manual method, just backing up single files and folders manually through Finder. We're going to be using two different devices for this as well. We're going to use a hard disk drive for backing up our Mac with Time Machine Backup, and then we're going to use an SSD drive for backing up our files manually. Now you can use either or for either situation, but in this case I have a hard disk drive that is 4 terabytes solely for Time Machine backups, and then I have a 2 terabyte SSD that is for fast transfers of singular files and folders. Now the reason I do so is because hard disk drives are usually cheaper for more storage, so I went that route when I'm doing the Time Machine Backup, because when you're doing Time Machine backups, you're going to want to make sure you have at least double or triple the storage that you have on your machine. With the external SSD, you can get a smaller size and just back up what you need here and there, just in case you want to transfer it to a new device or bring it around with you. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the tutorial on how to back up your Mac. We're going to start by plugging in our external hard drive into our Mac. Once plugged in, you might get a message to allow the accessory. Go ahead and click allow, and then your drive should show up on your desktop. Next, we're going to click Command and Spacebar to open the Spotlight search and search for Disk Utility. Once open, we'll find our drive on the left side, right-click it and click Erase. We'll keep the name as is, and then we'll also make sure that the format is Mac OS Extended Journaled. We can then click Erase. Once that's done, we can close it, and then we can navigate to the top left corner to the Apple logo, click it, and then we can click on System Settings. We'll then navigate down to General, and then Time Machine. We'll then select the option to add a backup disk. We'll then want to select our external drive, and then type in a password for protecting our drive, as well as a hint for that password. We can then choose to use the entirety of the disk or partition it to use only some of it. In this case, we're going to use it all. You can then click Done, and it'll prep the disk for Time Machine. While we wait for the backup to begin, we can look at some of the settings. In the options, you can change how frequently the backups occur, as well as whether or not you can back up on battery power. You can also choose to exclude certain folders from your machine to be left out of the Time Machine Backup. You can add and remove these folders by clicking the plus or minus button below. Once the backup begins, you'll be greeted with a progress bar in the settings pane, and you can let it do its thing. It's going to take a little bit of time. In this case, I think it took about 30 minutes to an hour, but I would leave the machine as is, make sure it's plugged into power, and let it do its thing. When it's complete, you'll be greeted with the amount of space available, as well as the previous backup time and the scheduled next backup. Now, if we double click that drive that's on the desktop, we'll be able to navigate the Time Machine Backup drive and see our newest backup. Navigating through, you can notice that we have a full snapshot of the machine, and we can navigate our existing files that are there. Now let's talk about how to restore files. We can use the Spotlight search again, Command and Spacebar, to search for the Time Machine app. When we open it, we're greeted with a Finder window. On the right side, you have a timeline, and then also beside the Finder window, you have some buttons to navigate back and forth between backups. Now let's delete some files in our download folder and see if we can restore them. I'm going to select a few files here, delete them, and then go back to the Time Machine. I'll then navigate back to downloads, and you'll notice that the files are now missing there. Clicking the arrow up reveals those files again as they were backed up with the last Time Machine backup. To restore those files, I select them all and then I click Restore. The files will then be replaced, and if you have an existing file with the same name, you'll be given the option to keep one or the other or both. Now let's talk about the manual backup method. We'll start by plugging in our external SSD. Once connected, we can double click it on the desktop to see what's inside. We can then create folders, as well as drag and drop files from our local machine onto the external drive. Now this method is a lot easier and quicker, but you don't get the robustness of Time Machine backup, which would allow you to restore your entire machine if the drive failed, or if your machine broke, or if you were getting a new machine. It's also important to make sure when you're disconnecting your drives, you eject them properly by right-clicking them and clicking eject. Now, if you made it this far, I want to say thank you for watching this video. I hope I helped you back up your Mac, and I also hope I help you with other things like PC videos or other Mac videos on my channel in the future. Hit that like button and also drop those comments down below if you have any questions or concerns or need any help with your backups or anything in general tech-wise. I'm usually helpful and respond pretty promptly as I get the notifications on my phone, so I can try to help you guys out on the fly. But again, I want to thank you for joining me in my channel, and I hope to see you soon again. And until next time, see you later.